That's so sick.
アレンジがいいですね。
And the thing about Japanese is that it's a monophthong language, right? Every vowel is made up of one like small part of what our diphthong vowels are. Takakunakatta means like it was not expensive. You have shiranai, I don't know. Like it's all like da 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 da.
おやば。I like it.
Different languages yield different musical grooves and ideas and feelings. What's exciting to see is that Japanese music has borrowed from American culture, but now that American culture is borrowing it right back, creating something even newer and even more exciting.
今日はアメリカ人ジャズミュージシャンが J-Pop を愛した理由の動画を見てみるよ。Let's find out! こんにちは、全人類と友達になる男僕が水田です。
Byronです。And our special member!
マンディビーブルー
今日のテーマはアメリカ人ジャズミュージシャンが J-POP を愛した理由について。
Which American jazz singer are we talking about?
まあね、シンガーじゃなくて、アメリカ人の、サックス奏者、サックスプレイヤーね、
Oh, okay.
パトリック・バートリーってさんが
Okay.
いらっしゃるんだけど、アメリカのテレビとかにもたくさん出演されてて、もうすごい一流のジャズミュージシャンなんだけど、
Okay.
その方がバンドを組んでるよね、ジャズバンドをね。
Alright.
で、それが J-POP をメインでカバーするっていうバンドなの。
Oh, in America?
So they have like in America they have a band that is basically jazz, but they make like J-pop songs.
まあマンディとかがね、
はい
やりたいことって、スペインの国の音楽とかと、まあ J-POP っていうのをいいところを組み合わせて新しい音楽作りたいなっていう気持ちがあると思うんだけど、
そうですね。
でそれを今実際にアメリカで成功してるジャズミュージシャンが J-POP 好きだからバンド作って、
Right.
でそのチャンネルも11万人くらい多分いる。
よー。
まあ、アメリカのジャズミュージシャンから見た時に J-POP がなんで魅力的なのかっていうのをいっぱい語ってもらってる。で、まあそこからね新しく勉強することとかそれに対して共感できること、あ、これわかるみたいな話をしていければいいなと思ってます。
Okay.
マンディはスペイン出身で日本で日本語を使って活動しているプロシンガーでございますので、そのマンディと一緒にリアクションしていきたいと思います。それでは行ってみましょう。
Okay.
Oh.
この曲は
Last week I played this gig with the J Music Ensemble, which is this band that plays anime and J-pop and video game music at the Brooklyn Botanic
Is that
Garden.
Persona?
No, dude, that's Cowboy Bebop.
The Cowboy Bebop.
Oh.
Oh.
Matsuri, which is the annual Cherry Blossom Festival here in Brooklyn. Now the band is
Oh,
fronted by
Brooklyn.
fellow
Yeah, yeah.
Manhattan
That's like
School
the
Cherry
only places
Blossom?
where they have sakura
Bartley, who
trees.
is a pretty
Oh.
amazing jazz saxophone player.
日本にはカウボーイビボップは人気ですか？
人気はあるけど、でも海外の方がめちゃくちゃ人気だと思う。
海外の方がめっちゃくちゃ人気です。
Yes.
めちゃくちゃ人気です。
The whole concept of like a space cowboy
Yeah.
is very westernized, right?
Yes.
Right? It's like if Woody and Buzz had a baby from Toy Story, you know?
なんかわからんかったわ、一瞬。
You know, cowboys
Yes.
and like aliens, like
Yeah.
putting those two concepts together. Those are two things that, you
I'm
know,
shocked.
that's loved
I
in the
mean, that
West.
makes so much sense.
Yes.
That I'm shocked.
Yes.
Genuinely shocked. Okay.
The band is fronted by fellow Manhattan School of Music alumni Patrick Bartley, who is a pretty amazing
Patrick.
jazz saxophone player. He plays with Wynton Marsalis. He's played with the Chainsmokers. He's played on Colbert.
Somebody new joining the band. Say hi to Patrick, everybody.
Hey,
Music
kakui.
is a
It's
really
levels.
big passion for him.
I mean, I guess like most of us in America, I came to Japanese music through video games. I would play Sonic the Hedgehog, I would play Golden Axe, Streets of Rage, all those kind of games.
That's tight. Oh my god.
So I would go to the library, find the music, and then I realized, oh, it's composed by this person who's Japanese. Oh, this music comes from Japan. How far does this go?
わかる。
So for me personally, playing this music, which I don't know a whole lot about, filtered through the lens of American jazz improvisation has been really interesting because it feels somehow both very different and very familiar.
But that's actually a very excellent point, right?
Yeah.
Because, jazz, I mean, if you've seen movies like La La Land,
Yeah.
right? Then jazz is very improvisational at its core, right? But then if you combine it with Japanese pop music, it sounds all new. It sounds very, very fresh for the American ears because you're like, it's jazz, it's improvisation. But then if you bring in more tunes from Japanese music, it sounds like a completely new sound as opposed to just like the ippan-tekina jazz that you hear in America. So I think that's a very excellent point. And number two, power to nerds who can do shit. Goddamn, nerds are just not otaku who live in their mom's basement. They are musicians.
Yes.
They are talented. They love. I mean, all of us are pretty much otaku.
Oh, yeah, pretty
right?
much, yeah.
Yes, I love that.
Yes.
More power to them. You can do it, otakus. Be something more than just your dakimakura pillows in your mom's basement. You
No
can
dakimakuras, please.
put that information and knowledge to good use. So I just wanted to say that.
全部にアグリーはしないけどまあでもバイロンが言うこと正しいなって思うところがあって、まずオタクっていうのは結構日本でネガティブな言葉だったんだけど、最近すごいポジティブになってきていて、アニメがすごい一般的になって世界にどんどん広がってるっていうのもあるし、あと僕が思うのは何かに打ち込める人ってことじゃん。何かが好きでたまらないっていう人は他のことでも成果が出せるから。
興味深いですね。
そう。だから僕らも、なんか YouTube オタクだったり音楽オタクだったりするわけよね。
はい。
でも結構ポジティブな意味でも考えられるんじゃないかなと思って。
I really love the fact that the first thing they talk about is that, like a lot of American people does, they go and find out about Japanese music through video games. And in Spain it's also video games and anime, of course. And this is something that I really love, the fact that at the moment he said video games, I thought Sonic. And
No way!
yeah, that was automatically, and he said Sonic and it was like, yes.
Wow.
There's a lot of people that go and discover Japanese music thanks to Sonic, Mega Man, and Kirby.
Honestly,
Kabi.
all three.
Kabi.
Yeah, Kabi.
Kirby.
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 Kabi.
英語発音は
Kirby.
はい、スペイン語発音。
Kirby.
Kirby. Oh.
英語は許せるけど、スペイン語は許せない。
Sonic the Hedgehog has a lot of combination with jazz, with pop, with rock, with alternative composers, and it's very, very interesting to someone that is sensitive, someone who is able to feel the differences, has this ear that says, okay, this is different. I want to know why it's different. And then they found out that it's from a Japanese composer. That's a very natural way to do it.
昔はもうゲーム文化とかでめちゃくちゃ海外に広がってるし、で今は推しの子のアイドルとかも、YouTube のミュージックランキングで世界1位になったじゃん。だからそういうアニメ文化、まあオタク文化で世界にどんどん広がってってるよね。で、それが原因で日本に来た人たちね。
Well, yeah, to an extent, yes.
ですね。
一般釣り、フィッシング
Fishing. Wow, wow.
Through the lens of American jazz improvisation has been really interesting because it feels somehow both very different and very familiar.
I like it. That's so sick.
パフューム
ア
すごい
レンジがいいですね。アレンジがすごい。
If you take a look at the background, if you can find any bios on these musicians and composers that made music for these games in anime and J-pop, they were all influenced by American jazz musicians.
Sick. Oh,
That's true.
すごいすごいめっちゃかっこいい。
that's nice.
そのポリリズムとかで。
I mean, you have people like Yuji Ono, right, who's a composer for the music of Lupin III, and that was in the 70s. So that's very clear inspiration from things like either James Brown's band or Herbie Hancock's band, or even older, like you got Count Basie, you got Thad Jones. You can hear all that sort of stuff.
That's a sick bassist.
Oh my god.
Oh,
さんがすごい。
he's incredible. Whoa.
And even going on to like more contemporary people like Yasutaka Nakata, who did the music, who's doing the music for Perfume and Kari Pamyu Pamyu, Utada Hikaru, Ringo Shiina. All those J-pop artists are vastly influenced by jazz and funky R&B music.
シーラリンゴと宇多田ヒカルが出た。
Should probably start with the rhythm first, because the rhythm is one of those things that makes the backbone of this music sound so much different than American music. I think in the Scott Snaps video, you talked about how language influences like the music that comes out of that culture, and it's 100% true. So if you want to study other types of music, I think the same way you should at least peek at what the language is. And the thing about Japanese is that it's a monophthong language, right? Every vowel is made up of one like small part of what our diphthong vowels are. So if you got A, it's E, right? You also have consonant, vowel, usually what the language is made of, you know. Takakunakata, it means like it was not expensive. You have shiranai, I don't know. Like it's all like da 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 da. And the music is a lot built up like that.
この人はやっぱり音楽のオタクです。いい意味で。
I think that he has a good point where it's if you study the language, then you get to understand the music a little bit more.
That's so important.
Right? Because I think that from us, like when we were small little babies and we heard Japanese for the first time, we couldn't understand like how to sing, and we would have to like read the romaji, and we couldn't get the timing correctly. But the more that we studied Japanese and the more we understood like how Japanese singers tackle different kinds of consonants and vowels, then we come to understand the music a little bit more. And then now we're at like an advanced level where we can understand the tomowashi of Japanese ongaku, right? And there's a different layer under that. So what he's saying is absolutely correct. Like in order to understand the music more than just the melody, you need to study the language as well.
That's exactly what happens. I mean, I had that feeling exactly at the moment that I started learning Japanese. And when I started singing in Japanese, I didn't know any Japanese. I just went with the flow, you know. I just went with the feeling and everything, and my accent wasn't that correct back then. So I just everything that I was listening to, I repeated, and that's it. But when I started learning the language, when I started learning the alphabet and everything, I found out that something was a little more deep. Not only because I could understand the lyrics and everything like that after learning Japanese, but because there was something else that you can add by learning the language, by learning the kakekikoku. It stays in your mind. And now when I sing in Japanese and when I sing in English or Spanish, the technique is completely different. It's like I have to put myself in the mood of I'm singing Japanese, and the way that he explains it, it's so true and it's so good. I never hear anyone talk so properly about Japanese in music.
日本語の母音はすごい短いって話してたじゃん。確かに英語に比べたらすごい短いなって思うよね。日本語だったら愛してるってもう母音はすごい短くなるけど、英語だったら I love you のあが長くなるよね。
I love you.
スローでありがとう。
Yes. There we go. There's Persona 5. I knew they would pull that out sometime.
すげえ。
That's kind of different than what we have because you have a lot of words that slur. You have a lot of words that move this way. You know, when I talk like this, it kind of swings a little bit. So it's easy to make lyrics, you know, that kind of thing. Yeah. But if you're speaking Japanese, it's a little different. But to speak it correctly, you can't, there's no accents. There's pitch accents sometimes in order to make the, you know, just like in English where to ask a question, you want to do upper inflection, of course, but that has no bearing on how the language actually sounds. Yeah. You actually sound a little weird when you start speaking Japanese.
That makes sense. Oh yeah. I feel like I'm playing Persona right now.
So I'm a huge fan of the idea that language influences music. The rhythmic qualities of a given language are going to be found in the musical ideas of a given language's culture. Different languages yield different musical grooves and ideas and feelings. What's exciting to see is Japanese music has borrowed from American culture, but now that American culture is borrowing it right back, creating
like
something even newer and even more exciting.
Really have the room for improvement. Just the book of us go where there's no ground beneath it. Does that mean I'm of no use and dead?
Let's go.
Is that how it's supposed to be wherever I
Yeah.
would it be the same if my mom was alive? I couldn't work. All I know is nothing ever compares to the days when my mother was there. It's all my fault.
Oh my god.
I wish the days that my mother was there.
Yeah, play it. Let's go.
My soul is being healed.
I really want to go to this. I just want to go to it, you know?
You know, with jazz improvisation, the main way that we learn it, at least now, since the dawn of recorded music at least, we learn this music from transcribing. A lot of people say this for playing fighting games too. Like, if anybody plays Smash, like Smash Brothers, they say go study some pro players if you want to get good. Like, study, like if you play Rob, go study this person. If you play Pikachu, go study this person, right? And then like you get until you practice their combos until you find your own style.
Okay.
What a very good, very nice reference there.
Yeah.
オタクリフェレンス。
オタクリフェレンスはね、確かにオタクリフェレンス。
かっこいい。
I don't know, there is a feeling to it. I can't say what it is though.
Well, you know, it's a constant work in progress for us too, but that's why we're constantly exploring these themes. And if I just think about the opening theme, you know, that one interval, the 6, is so important to me because it's a feeling of the blues. And I think the Japanese have a very interesting way of dealing with the blues that I got very attracted to.
Interesting.
And I'm not even talking about like what stereotypical pentatonic stuff. No, I'm talking about the straight up feeling of distress and de-stress melodic tension. There's like a bubblegummy poppy song by Perfume from the early era, the complete best era, as like Perfume fans know of. It's called Sweet Donuts. Chorus goes, Sweet Donuts. If I take it out the context of the lyrics and take it out the context of the rhythm, I go, I'm like, oh, wow, that's some other thing. It's a simultaneous feeling of the optimistic rhythm with the really melancholy melody, and that's what creates that feeling of J-pop that has, and it's very deep. Because the blues is all about that uplifting feeling too, right?
Right.
So you got a lot of melodies in J-pop that go. There's a certain like I feel like going down
It's making so much sense.
and then coming back up to the E is like, all right, things gonna be all right.
Yeah.
You know that feeling?
Yeah, I mean,
there's a whole bunch of ways to interpret that, but I feel that way when it comes to that. It's like it's a sadness, but it's like, you know, we're gonna be all right. This is my world that I live in, and I think a lot of people identify with J-pop because it makes them feel like they're going into a world that understands them, and they feel like they're going into a world where people are like, oh, this is a song that is talking about my life and my struggle, because the music and the melody is about that struggle, but it's also about the optimism.
That makes a lot of sense.
Oh my god, this is what I've been trying to tell you guys all these years. Oh my god, this guy, I'm falling in love with this man. Oh my god. I mean,気持ちはめちゃくちゃわかる。The feeling of melancholy. The melancholy. The feeling that everything is going to be all right. It has a little bit of nostalgia. It has a little bit of something that is, it might be sad in another cultures, but with Japanese melodies happens to feel like it's touching your soul somehow. That's exactly the kind of music that I love, and that's exactly the kind of feeling that make me fall in love with Japanese music. Oh my god, how much can we pay to this guy to come to Japan and make a performance here? Yeah, but I want him to come here and make a performance, a concert, and I want to go, and I want to make a t-shirt with his face to see that I'm an otaku of him. I'm his otaku.
Oh my god.
日本に来てください。日本お願いします。
Mr. Patrick Bartley-san.
Please.
If you're ever in Japan, you're always welcome on the Mr. Fuji channel.
Yes.
To come talk with us about music.
Yes.
We love you. We love you. We thank you
大
for
ファンになりました。
opening our eyes to this wonderful explanation of J-pop. Come to Japan. I'll pay for your ramen. Whatever you want. Whatever you want. Just come.
Dumplings or
Come to
ラーメンだ
anything.
けラーメンだけ
Ramen,
Well, and sushi. And sushi. Whatever you want, bro.
日本に来てからなんで日本の音楽が大好きですかって何回も聞かれても、答えはちょっと 110% ちゃんと伝えてなかったんですよね。まあでもこの人は 110% を伝えてて、いや本当に立派な説明して本当にありがとうございます。
Yeah.
ありがとうございますよ本当に。
It really makes me want to study more music theory.
Yes.
Yes. Because there are certain melodies that do have an effect on a person's mentality, or the way that music is perceived in a certain way can affect your moods in many different ways. And it just goes to show that J-pop really has this underlying feeling of melancholy, and that everything is going to be all right, and that's due to the fact of the composition of the music in a certain way. Right? And it's able to make you feel like that. And I think, he probably hasn't been to Japan as much, and, his pronunciation is not totally there, but I think that's a lot of due to his, rigorous study in music theory, because he understands how different melodies affect the human mind.
Does he have an online course or something like that?
I know. Probably does. Maybe a master class. Yeah.
さんね。おお、やば。
I like it.
Even a little bit sky, huh?
The fact that major can sound sad, there's not, I don't know,
See, I was hearing it almost as minor sounding happy. Like I was hearing most of the stuff exactly the opposite from what you were thinking. Which is like, okay, all right.
I think of both of those things though.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, all of my Jewish friends, they said, wow, this sounds like I'm at temple. It sounds like I'm at services.
Oh, yeah.
When they hear minor songs. For example, when we, at our sessions, we play Kirby Dreamland from the arrangement from Smash 64, Smash Melee. And they're like, man, why does it sound like a horror?
Yeah, it's like,
really?
yeah, it does.
All that to it, and like, it's because of the minor sounding happy vibe.
Well, yeah.
They're also very, very influenced by Eastern European music.
Yeah, okay, I can hear that.
There's a popular Hatsune Miku song called Ivan Polka. That's like actually the song.
Yeah.
There's a lot of songs that borrow from that.
Okay.
And it's really interesting.
Just the synthesis of many, many other cultures, or at least like influence of other cultures, but then through this uniquely Japanese
Big island
sense.
culture.
Yeah.
It's big island culture. Being half Jamaican, I totally feel where they're coming from. And there's a whole, they're also vastly influenced by reggae music.
Half of my family is from Jamaica, so to represent the spirit of the Caribbean, we gotta do a little soca. You ready? 1, 2, 3,
Oh my god, this is so good.
It's so interesting to see, and in a small part, be part of that synthesis between Japanese pop music and American jazz music. I'm very excited to see what Patrick and the rest of the J Music Ensemble do with this going forward, because damn, the music is like, it's really, really fun to play.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's fun. That's the thing, it has to be fun.
Woo! That was so much fun. It's like an adrenaline rush. That last tune. Holy.
Yeah.
Great bassist, by the way.
Yes, he's an amazing bassist. The most simple thing about making music and wanting to become a musician or a singer or whatever is because it's fun.
Yeah.
And sometimes there's in pop and rock and even in jazz, sometimes there's like a structure. And being able to play with that structure, to make arrangements with instruments that you don't usually do, or go to another country and learn from that kinds of melodies and apply them to your music. That's so much fun. The fact about Japanese music is that they bring arrangements from all over the world and they transform it and they change it in a way that even people from that country, when they listen to it, they think, this is really cool. You just you take something from us, you make it better, and you bring it back.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's like this big ball that everybody is like signing their signature on. It's like, okay, your turn.
Yeah, okay, yeah, there you go.
Okay, go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead. This is art.
それは音楽の力ですよね。音楽のつながり。
それってすごい日本人が得意なことだなと思ってて、
うん
なんか日本人ってできないってわけじゃないけど、そうゼロから何か1を作るっていうことよりも、1を100にすることの方が得意なんじゃないかなって思う。
Ah,
なん
right.
かクオリティをすごい高めるみたいな。
は
で、それが音楽にも、
うん
なんかこう反映されてて、いろんな国から影響を受けたものを日本の中でブワーって作り上げて、また新しいものにして他の国に投げ返していくっていうのが、すごい。
い。素晴らしいですよ
いいなと思って
ね。その考え方は素晴らしいです。
でもまあ日本人としては、それをまた受け取ってくれて、アメリカで演奏してくれてるっていうのすごい嬉しいし、鳥肌立つよね。もううますぎて。
いや本当に鳥肌立つ
いやそう。日本人が演奏しても、なんかバイブスは出てこないんじゃないかなと思ってて、それをまたアメリカ人のジャズミュージシャンが自分の解釈でプレイするから、
Right.
プラスにバイブスが上がって、なんかすごいいい感じに。
いや
そう。
どんどんレベルアップしてる。
そう。
平和だわ。See, isn't it better peace and not war? This is the kind of art that we can receive if we all just get along.
はい、ということで今日はアメリカ人ジャズミュージシャンが J-POP を愛した理由の動画を見てみました。どうだった？
That he is a perfect representation of music nowadays. He has like a
Jamaican roots.
Jamaican roots,
Yeah.
but he was based in America, and he found out about what Japanese music is. He mixed all that and creates something that is unique, but also at the same time you can recognize it. You can feel why it's good and why it's so well done. And at the same time you're having an amazing time. An amazing time in those concerts, in the way that he's explaining. I think he's a complete artist. And because of that, I think that more people should be like him. Not about hating this style or hating this genre or oh my music is the only thing that is good now. Everything can be new. Everything can be fun. Everything can be about having a great time. And we should all learn about this kind of feeling. 大ファンになってしまいました。本当に尊敬してます。
じゃあ今日ね、リアクションさせてもらったアダムさんのチャンネル、リンクに貼っとくので、チェックお願いします。で、あと今日インタビュー答えられてたパトリックさんの J-POP を演奏するバンド J-Music Ensemble のチャンネルも一緒に概要欄貼っとくので、そちらもチェックをお願いします。
フォローしてください。
Alright, Mandy, if there's anything you want to plug too, please go ahead and tell our audience.
皆さんどうも私はマンディビーブルーです。スペイン出身で今声優と歌手として働いています。私の YouTube チャンネルで80年代と90年代の歌ってみたアップしてますので、もしよければぜひ聴いてみてください。そして新しいシングルリリース森シュータのぞみというゲームで私は夢ゆきシューティングスターという主題歌を歌わせていただきました。そしてのぞみちゃんの主人公さんの声で
声優もしてるんだね。
声優もしてます。この声じゃなくてもっとこの声ですよ。
すごいな。アンディの SNS は概要欄に貼っておきますのでチェックをよろしくお願いします。他に僕らに話してほしいトピックがあればそちらもコメント欄までよろしくお願いします。
In there.
それでは次の動画でまたお会いしましょう。バイバイ。チャンネル登録
お願いします。
はい。